Hi, I'm Bathood. So, the purpose of this channel is gonna be to become the biggest influencer out there. I want to become the biggest YouTuber, and the way I'm gonna be that is by telling you all the juicy stuff from my life. It's gonna be a lot of drama, it's gonna be a lot... okay, screw that. I can't even say that and keep a straight face. That's how hilarious I think that kind of content is, and it's so uninteresting for me. Purpose of this channel is gonna be basically to share my feelings, and not only my feelings, because I need some way to actually handle them, and this is the best way I could come up with. Songs and sing about it, and trust me, nobody wants to hear me sing, so so I think doing it by making a video about it, just talking out, I think gonna help me a lot. And not only helping me, but also help other people that feel the same way as I do. Because there are certain things that happened in the last couple of years that really twisted my mind a lot about how I understand things, how I basically want things to be. So I don't know really where to start, so I just gonna jump right into it. I'm probably suffering from something that's called political anxiety. It started after the last election, and the reason it started is because we have one of the Nazi parties that used to be a Nazi, really a Swedish Nazi party in the 90s, have so much success the last couple of years, especially in this last election, that they have so much influence on the Swedish politics, and basically they have been able to put all their migration, all the immigrant politics in place right now. So that's what we are seeing. We're seeing a huge Swedish change in the political system. Okay, and this is why I have something that is referred to as political anxiety. I've been trying to find studies about this. I've been trying to understand what it means, but basically it's so little information about this, and that also makes me even more worried that it is so little information about this. Because basically I've been feeling anxiety before, basically about the climate. Okay, the climate changes is something that's happening right now. We can see it. We know that all the politicians are saying that they are doing everything they can, and they are like bragging about who's doing the most and how much they are doing, even though that all the calculation is showing that it's still increasing, the temperature will still rise, and none of the efforts that we are doing today is good enough, right? So this is why I feel like, okay, so what are the politicians actually prioritizing? Why are they doing that? And this is bringing me back to the Swedish election, because if we look at the Swedish government, we have basically 7 parties. These are the 7 parties that we have, and I don't want to go into too much detail right now into what the parties does, or basically what they are and so on. But the most interesting thing here for you to understand is that the Swedish Nazi party, even though they are not calling themselves Nazis, they are basically a Nazi party. Okay, it's the second biggest. They got 73 mandates in the government, and the government is filled with 349 totally, and this occurred. What happened is, even though they are second biggest party, because of who they are working with, they are basically working with Liberalerna, som vi kallar dem, Liberalerna, Kristdemokraterna, Moderaterna och Sverige Demokraterna. So basically, because all these 4 together, what we call is the right wing in Sweden, their political is right, they become the majority, and basically this means that they will decide in Sweden. This is really strange for a lot of people. No one expected Sverige Demokraterna, the Swedish Democrats, as they call themselves, to become this big. Actually, if we look at the statistics, they got 20.5% of the total votes. So 1/5 of every Swede actually voted for a Nazi party, which is insane. This is insane. So this, I think, is the main reason to why I feel anxiety, that me as a foreigner, even though I'm born in Sweden, I can see that we have a lot of problems with integration, with the segregation and so on. I can see that the financial, economic ways that we have in Sweden have recent years created this huge gaps between rich and poor people. And I think this is why we have this many problems that we are seeing. We have increased gun violence, we have increased criminal violence and so on. And it's not a small increase, it's actually a huge increase. So when we talk about the amount of death shootings and so on, I will come back to the statistics later about that. But we are seeing huge increase of that. And now I think because of the Swedish Democrats have said that they're gonna increase the punishments and they're gonna do a lot of stuff to stop the criminals, they're gonna also insert visitation zones, actually areas where the cops without any reason can just start visiting someone to see if they are wearing anything of interest like weapons, drugs and so on. And this goes back to Gestapo's time with so I mean basically they want to have Nazi reforms in Sweden. That's what they are aiming to do. And now we're coming back to why I'm creating this video, because as I told you, I have this anxiety, and the best way to ease climate anxiety, and now I'm talking about climate anxiety because this is the only information that I could find, is to remember that I'm not alone. I'm not alone probably when it comes to the political anxiety. I've talked to friends, I've talked to people that I know, and they feel the same way. They are also worried about what kind of Sweden we're gonna see tomorrow when we see this kind of politicians that actually deciding on how the Sweden will be handled, right, as a country. So I want to remember that I'm not alone, and I want you that watching this video that it's alright to have political anxiety. You're not alone. I know a lot of people had this during USA election when Trump won the first time. I saw that there were studies pointing that a lot of young people actually felt anxiety about the Trump administration. So I mean, this is nothing unique, this is nothing new. I just think this is a topic that haven't been discussed a lot. And the reason to it also, I find it that in the older generation, it wasn't popular to actually care about the environment. It wasn't popular to actually care about the politics in the country and so on. But I know that the new generation, they actually care about it because they see that this is gonna be the future in maybe 30-40 years, and they're gonna live when maybe other politicians are gonna probably be dead because they are too old to care. So I just want to everybody to know about this, that you're not alone. A lot of people are feeling about this and they are not talking about it. And this is, I need to talk about it. This is why I'm doing this channel. I need other people to see it and feel the same way, that we actually are doing stuff to ruin our planet. We only have one planet. We're not gonna probably be like Elon Musk and create a new habitat on Mars. We should, instead of focusing on creating this planet as good as possible as we can and making the best out of it. But we are not. So remember that you are not alone, okay? That's the first thing. And second of all, another reason to why I'm creating this video is because I want to find other people that feels like me. I want to find other people that also feel like we're not doing enough, we should do a lot more, and basically cooperate with those people. I want us to act together, and maybe we can, by acting together, we can come up with plans to make things better. Maybe we can organize days where we can plant trees and so on, like Mr. Beast did. And I also want us to be able to look at our maybe areas like cities and so on, and act together within the cities. Maybe we can find places where we can add more trees or something like that, and also stop plans on building stuff in those cities. Because right now I see also like, especially in Stockholm where I live, like a lot of green areas that used to be green is turning into buildings because of the buildings, how expensive they become. It got a lot more attractive to build new buildings, and people are investing a lot more money in areas to create more buildings, and this is really hard for the people that rules in the city to say no to, because they love the idea about building more buildings that will add more money to them, even though it becomes a lot worse for the people living there. Like in my area alone, they have done like 3 major new buildings within like 2 years, and all the green areas disappeared. So I find this really boring. I hope that people will be able to act together and find each other in a better way. I have some plans on how to do it, and basically it all starts with YouTube. I'm creating this video and see how many people are gonna be interested in actually watching, commenting, and be a part of this community, because my goal is basically to talk about things that matters to me. It's both economic, it's both political, it's both climate. It's all about being sustainable, because honestly we only have one life, we only have one planet, and we should do the most out of it. And we're really not right now. I find it like really hard to understand what the future holds, what the plan is for the future, because I mean, we don't have to go far to understand what a planet should be like. All we have to do is go out in the forest. The forest is sustainable in a way that a tree understands when it grows in an area, it should be in that area, right? It's gonna be there for several hundred years. It's not gonna be there by extracting all the minerals, all the stuff from the soil, and create this uninhabited area once it's gone. Because basically a tree understands that in order to stay here and successful for many years, I need to give to my surroundings as well as I take, right? So this is why when we go near trees, we see so much life that we can't even see above the soil. We can see it under the soil. There are so many microscopic things that thrives around the tree, that lives in harmony with the tree, that gives and takes from the tree. And this is what I want for us humans to do as well, and I'm gonna create a whole video about that later. But basically this is all I had to say right now. I hope you enjoy it. Please like and subscribe.